Hey guys!
Hi.
Hi, how's everyone feeling?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit nervous, just a tiny bit.
Nervous, yeah.
I'm in my pants right now. I'm very scared. It's gonna be okay. Yana's face. It's gonna be okay. I'm Joey. I'm from South Carolina. That's not why I sound like. I've already offended some people. We're not even a minute in. You know, it's fine.
Oh god. I'm Mitch. I'm from England. Yeah.
I'm Becky. I'm from North Wales in the UK.
I'm Ayana. I live in good old South Carolina. What? I live in South Carolina.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Val. I live in Ohio, the most boring place on earth, but we have the most roller coasters.
Oh.
Is that true?
Yeah.
How many? Is it only Kings Island?
No, there's Kings Island, there's Cedar Point.
Isn't that the
Cedar
same
Point
thing?
has the most... No. Cedar Point owns Kings Island. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
All right. Well, this is our first episode of a podcast. You know that. This is called Finding the Tea with Gen Z. Yay!
Nursery rhyme. Woo!
Yay! So, a little backstory about us before we get into this first episode. We're a group of friends. We all met around the age of, I was 12, I think. Val was...
Weren't you 11?
Yeah. I think we were
11, 12. I said around the age. We were all around that
Yeah.
age. Val was a bit older. Ayana came in whenever I got to high school. But we're a group of friends who have been talking on the internet, you know, very dangerous. It was not recommended to us. But you know what? Here we are.
We
and
broke the rules.
We broke the rules. I don't know if we've made each other better or worse, but you know what? This
A
is
little bit of
this is where we are now.
Yeah, we here.
We here.
Yeah, for our first podcast, we decided that we're going to do something where we're going to compare the UK, because we have two people from the UK, and the US, and we thought that would be a little bit fun, and we realized over the years that the UK and the US are quite different.
Indeed.
A little background about me. I studied in the UK for a year. I fell in love with the UK when I was a little girl, and then I met people from the UK, and I was like, I have to do this, so I made it happen. So I feel like I have like a pretty good knowledge of like both, since I lived in both places. So I thought I would start off with, let's talk about food. I feel like that's a good starting point. So I think that food is actually not much different. I mean, obviously, there's this like stigma that we eat so much more over here in the U.S. for portion sizes, but I feel like we have kind of equal portion sizes when it comes to restaurants, but fast food way more. I don't know. You guys have any opinions?
Well,
Do you have the super size in America or not?
I don't know what that means. I mean, we have small, medium, large.
There used to be at McDonald's, you used to be able to supersize meals, and it would make it like super big, like really huge, like big as like a 42-ounce like golf. What is it called? Gulp.
Big gulp?
Yeah, big gulp.
At
yeah.
like 7-Eleven.
Yeah. It used to be like that. So
I think those do exist.
They don't exist anymore, not at McDonald's, because obviously there's a big stigma against obesity and that kind of stuff.
But our
whether
large is still
accurate or not.
humongous.
But our large is still bigger than the UK's, so there is that. But I feel like at restaurants they're quite equal.
But even aside from portion sizes, I mean, even if things maybe look the same, at least Mitch has told me before that the chemicals that are in our food are very different because the restrictions are much more lenient here, right?
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Mitch, about that?
Well, in the US, you guys like wash your chicken with chlorine and you inject your beef with hormones and stuff. Did you not know that, Joey?
We do what now?
Yeah, you wash your chicken in chlorine and stuff, which like is banned here because it's actually deemed here as like a health and safety risk. So all of our like chicken and our beef and things is more sort of organic and it's not treated with hormones or chemicals or washed with this or that or whatever. So Yeah, like McDonald's and other fast food restaurants like pride themselves on having like 100% British, like organic beef in their burgers and all that kind of stuff. But I know soon, not to get political, but after Brexit, we want a trade deal with America, and you guys want us to lower our food standards so we can bring in chlorinated chicken and hormone injected beef and stuff.
All of us, or like the current administration?
Like the current administration.
Of course he does.
And I think we will, Becky, because Brexit is not going too well at the minute, and we kind of need a trade deal with someone. So we're probably going to make concessions and stuff. So
How is that safe though?
I mean, it's obviously. I mean, you three are still alive, so
Barely.
you guys probably Oh,
I feel like it's, I mean, as somebody who doesn't eat meat, it doesn't really affect me. So I've been a vegetarian for like 3 years. But as far as it goes, I really do think it's probably not the safest. So you guys probably are on the right track. I know another thing you guys don't do is you don't do like red dyes in your guys' stuff. I remember over at the UK, your like sodas look a tiny bit different than ours in some respects because, yeah, just slightly, just a slight different coloration. So like, it felt weird. I don't know, looking at the differences, and I wonder like, is there something wrong with the dyes we put in our drinks? Probably, they're probably chemically not great for us.
Well, I figure it's probably not that big of a deal in small portions, but I guess whenever like you're drinking 2 sodas a day and you're eating fast food for at least a meal a day, like I guess it probably does have some kind of impacts. Becky, do you have anything to say?
I'm just gobsmacked. I didn't realise that you guys did that in America. Did you know that, Yana? I didn't know that.
About the chicken?
Yeah, about the... What did you say? It was washed in chlorine?
yeah.
Damn, and I still can't swim. That's funny. No, I didn't know that. That's bananas to me. Cause oops.
Bananas.
But let me talk. Hold on. How do you live without sanity? That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Well, we have it now. It got banned for a couple of years, and then it came back.
Oh.
Wow. I thought you said it was banned.
I'm pretty sure it's back now. I might have to do some research, but
I only see Sunny D in like shops like B&M.
yeah, it's not that popular anymore, and I think that's probably because it's like 96% chemicals and 4% juice.
Yeah, Sunny D ruined orange juice for me because orange juice tasted disgusting after I got used to Sunny D. Because it's basically just like sugar water.
Sunny D is just sugar water. Like, I don't know why you guys are obsessed with it.
And
Not
speaking
gonna
of
lie.
portions, like, you can only buy it in like a gallon jug.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen, I haven't seen like the small bottles of Sunny D since I was little. It's either you get the strawberry sugar water or the orange sugar water in a jug, and that's it.
I didn't know there was a strawberry one.
is there?
It's the
I've never.
I'm just imagining like strawberry milk from school, and that makes my stomach churn.
Ew. Did you guys have strawberry milk at school?
Did you have milk?
We got given, like in my primary school, like infants, which is like, oh god, how old are we in infant school? Up to like year 2.
Between the age of like, in year 2, you're like 6.
When I think
so
of
we were, like-
infant, I think of like 2.
Yeah.
When we were like 6, 5, 6, we got like little cartons of milk. But, oh my god, I don't really like milk unless it's in tea, because when I had like a carton of milk in school, they give us all gone off milk, and it was all like curdled and stuff. It was
What?
disgusting. Yeah, it
That's
was
not
awful.
good.
Awful. So they took them all back after they realised that it was nasty, yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
something that
What did
happened
that-
often?
It happened once.
What did y'all drink like with your lunch in school? Because all they gave us was milk.
All throughout, until I graduated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What,
We had a
what, like,
choice.
even
like-
in like high school?
Yeah, they would give
Yeah.
us, we would have choices. We'd have regular milk, we'd have vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. Everybody drank
You
chocolate.
guys have vanilla?
I
What
loved
the hell?
vanilla. I
So good.
stand vanilla because I started with chocolate and then I went to strawberry and then I went to vanilla. and then I started drinking regular milk. It was a
I
whole
think-
evolutionary experience.
I was strawberry 10 toes down, and if you wanted
10 toes
anything else to
up.
drink, like if you wanted water or juice or anything like that, you had to pay for it.
I don't
Water?
remember that.
Oh, like in a
you
bottle.
you got given milk for free at school.
Well, it was in the
For
price.
free.
But it was in the price of the lunch.
Oh, we used to pay for lunches. We towards the end of school when it got like all like modernized and we had a new school built. We used to pay with our fingerprint, and like you'd like scan your fingerprint and add money to it, and then you'd pay for your lunch, and it'd be like £1.50 for a panini or something like that, and you just like so if you didn't bring any money in, then you not got any lunch.
Yeah, we have like
Wait.
a top-up card kind of thing
Sorry.
like that. But like, if some people have like free school dinners, like benefits and stuff like that. But
Oh
we
yeah,
didn't.
if
It
you're
was
like
just-
low income, yeah.
Yeah.
Over here, we had like to put money on our account like online, so that we would log in and put money in our account, and then we had like at the end of the lunch line we had a code to push in. So mine was 401905. Still remember it to this day, and that's how I would pay
Tell
for
people.
lunch. I don't think it matters. It's not
It
like
might
it's my
still
social
work.
security.
Okay, so I'm very interested though because we basically had like the same like 5 different meals that would cycle through. What did you guys eat in your school? Like, what was your school lunch?
Well, I used to always bring a packed lunch because I never really liked school lunch, so I can't really comment.
We had like 3 different sections. So like one section would be like Betty's, which is sandwiches, if you don't know what a Betty is. And then we'd have a section which is like pasta, or you could get like curry and rice sometimes. And then we'd have like the fast food line, which was just like pizzas and stuff. And then for like desserts, we'd have like brownies and flapjacks and fruit and stuff like that.
We're pretty much the same.
Yana and I both.
I-
For us, we had like the regular lunch was usually like it would change almost every single day. So we sometimes would have like a grilled cheese and tomato soup. Sometimes we would have like corn dogs. Sometimes we would have I don't know, like they always had around Thanksgiving time like a turkey lunch with like turkey and stuffing and potatoes. And then we also had the a la carte lunch, which was like the more fancy lunch, which is usually like some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of sandwich, some kind of like pizza that was like
That's
stuffed crust
fancy?
or something.
Oh.
Well, it was more fancy than the other stuff. And then we had a burrito station that you could get like make your own burritos. And then lastly, we had like a burger and like a daily pizza like section.
The
So
food must have been banging if you can remember that from all those years ago.
I like how they used a la carte to be the like fancy lunch whenever it really just means like separate items.
yeah.
They were just like, this
Yeah,
sounds fancy. At my school, Yana and I went to the same school, so she can elaborate on this. But like, I remember like 5 main things. Right, we would have chicken nuggets. We would have or steak nuggets. They would give us both of those. Those were so good.
Yeah.
Those were so fucking good. Yeah, I don't even know what was in them. They're minced meat.
5. Like, do you see how big I am, ma'am?
Period. Yeah, I would always get extra. Okay, and then I got that they had chicken sandwiches, which they switched to these like knockoff Chick-fil-A sandwiches in the end. But I always kind of liked the like fake patty ones. We had burgers. We had my favorite, right, was when they would give us like country fried steak, and they'd give us like, right, with mashed potatoes and like corn. But then also that was my second favorite. My favorite was the chicken bowl. They'd give us like KFC chicken bowl where you could get mashed potatoes and cheese and corn and little chicken bites. And it sounds like we like this, but I'm telling you, I went back a year later and it was all disgusting. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like the fries, I would have fries every single day, chips for you Brits over there.
I feel like yours is like more southernized. Like mine was more like generic,
Probably.
like stuff. Your guys sounds more like southern, because there's like
Chicken
there's totally a difference between like the northern U.S. and the southern U.S. in many ways.
I don't know what you're
So-
talking about, Misty.
Yeah.
But stay up there, you Yankee.
They're all down.
But yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of differences between like the school lunches, but also like school in general. Like there's so like many different things. Like you guys had to like pick what you wanted to do with your life like so early on. It's so crazy. Like we didn't really pick what we wanted to do until we went off to like college, basically, or trade school. So yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we were sort of made to choose quite early what subjects we liked and stuff when we had to do our GCSEs and stuff when we were like 15. But I don't know about you, Becky, I feel like that made me like figure out what I wanted to do more.
With me, I just kind of picked whatever I liked at the time. I kind of don't do any of my GCSEs really anymore that I picked as options. I don't. I picked media and psychology and Welsh back. I don't do Welsh back. I failed psychology and I didn't do anything with media. So here we are.
Fair enough, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna
think
say,
the
Mitch, you
GCSEs
said just the
was
other day that you don't even use your university stuff. So
That is because due to a pandemic, I'm working in a fish and chip shop, so...
I work in a little convenience store due to the pandemic, so
I'm
woo!
unemployed.
I work at a school, so I'm kind of doing what I want, but I did not major in education, so I'm kind of like taking a different path with grad school.
So you can't talk well, seeing as you have a degree in something completely unrelated.
Yeah, well, eventually I want to do a little bit of both. I want to, because for people that don't know, a lot of you guys don't know, I did political science. So I realized that I did not like the toxicity of the environment that it's on. We'll talk about that in another podcast. So I decided that that wasn't for me right now, but maybe later on it will be. And I would love to do education. So I'm going into early childhood education, and from there I am going to hopefully, after a few years, like actually work in state government to work on curriculum.
Come
so
through,
that's what I
Leslie
wanna
Knope.
do. So
Ayana's the only one that's using her degree, I feel
Yeah.
like.
My degree is quite useless. I'm using my license.
fair.
It's like, well, I mean, I thought my degree was in cosmetology. It's not. My degree is in general technology.
What does that mean?
I
Yeah.
don't know. No, I'm kidding. But like, my degree in general technology, you can honestly take it anywhere. Like, you can go in the medical field if you want to. You can, but like me personally, I prefer the beauty industry and only the beauty industry. So I'm more so using my license more than anything because. I've come to find out when you do a license over a degree, with your licensing, you have to do practicals and hands-on. Whereas a degree, it's, dissertations, essays, tests, and then you just go do what go try to go do what you have your degree in. But in all reality, you get a job to pay for, what you went to school to do, but not end up doing the job. Am I making sense? Am I rambling? You know what I meant.
No, you make sense.
Yeah, I
No,
get
this
No,
is
I
the first
definitely
time you've really spoken, so I'm glad that you're... Keep going.
So, but yeah, I'm not using my degree. I'm using my license. So,
I mean, I totally agree with you in that regard when it comes to like doing something with a license, because I feel like for us, like for education, you have to go into the classroom and like do like student teaching and stuff. And I feel like I'm going to learn way more about from student teaching than I am going to be doing like the stuff for my degree. Because like, yeah, I can talk about like education related subjects all I want online and like do all the tests, but that doesn't mean anything if I can't teach in the classroom. So yeah, I don't know. What are some of the differences between like the UK and the US? Like, what did you guys experience when you guys did education?
Well, I mean, we're going to touch on it in a later episode, but like, I think the drinking culture that kind of culture in general is like quite big here, but I think it's also quite big over there as well, actually. But obviously, we can go clubbing and stuff from 18, so a lot of people go clubbing. I didn't, because I don't like that sort of stuff. And that's, that's that. But Becky, I know you did.
In first year of uni, we went out like so much because that's just kind of what you do in first year when you're a fresher. You just go out and get drunk and have fun. But then after first year, like, studies get more difficult, I think, and then you kind of, well, most people, I think, still go out clubbing all the time, no matter what year they're in, but it kind of died down for me, because it was just too much work, and, like, I was working as well, so, but yeah, everyone's like a party animal, especially when you're in freshers. If you don't go out when you're in freshers, people are like, well, what are you doing? It's freshers. Like, literally, that is basically...
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
when I was in the UK, I definitely experienced more like clubbing atmosphere and like going out and partying at like clubs, and I really enjoyed that atmosphere. I definitely thought that it was, I guess I would say, almost less toxic, because you go out and you go get drunk in a and you're having fun like outside, and you're not like going to a party and then just like sitting around getting drunk. I felt at least maybe that's just the experience I had when I did house parties. I didn't like dance. I wasn't like doing anything active. I was just sitting there and drinking, and like, yeah, I would dance occasionally, but it wasn't the same atmosphere as when I was going clubbing in the UK. And I feel like in the US it is kind of like not as common to actually go out clubbing unless you're part of like a really big city, I would say. I don't know. What did you experience while you went to college for a little bit there, Joey?
I don't know if that was a read. My first year, my friends and I went out a lot to drag shows. So I guess being gay kind of shifts that a little bit. But like, yeah, no, the first year I went out a ton. But then it kind of wore off. I think it was mainly just being in high school and not having that experience, not being old enough to go do that. Once I was let out to do it, I mean, I wasn't out drinking, but there was drag, so like I was out all the time. But then, yeah, after the first year, it kind of just wore off, and we just sat in our apartments and stuff and just chilled. But I think it's also easier to go out and club and really just do anything over in the UK because of the fact that everything's so much closer. Here, like, if I was gonna walk to a club, I'd have to walk for the next year. Like, I don't know. I can't just go somewhere. Like, my options are, like, drink and drive or pay $30 for an Uber. So those are just, it's not as easy over here. But to be fair, though, I had a lot more fun, personally, at the house parties that I went to. Now, like, the fraternity one I went to, not fun. Sorry, bros. But, like, the theater parties were a lot of fun, just because we were all just, like, dancing around and crying about how beautiful and nice everyone was. I don't know. The theater parties were a lot of fun. I did enjoy those more than the clubs, if I'm being honest. But then again, I think it's just because of the community that being in theater brings. I don't think that's the same for everyone.
I definitely had a community. It didn't really matter to me. I just wanted to go out and go and meet different people, because when you go clubbing, you meet people that you never thought you would meet before. If you go to a party, most of the time you know most people that are there. At least the house parties I went to, I would meet like maybe one or two different people at the house parties. But if I went clubbing, I would meet like 10 people and go to the bathrooms, and people would be like, "Oh, are you okay? Your dress is beautiful," and that kind of stuff. And I always loved that.
That's not what was going on in the bathrooms of the clubs I went to.
Yeah.
Although I guess that's just drag culture.
That is one nice thing about clubs in the UK. Like, you go into the girls' toilets and everyone's so lovely. Everyone hypes each other up. You didn't go to college, did you, Ayana?
No, I went to trade school, so...
I don't know what that is. It's a bit
A school where you learn a trade.
Oh, what's that equivalent in the UK?
College, probably.
Community college?
Well, yeah, but because you guys get college, from 16 to 18 or whatever. And so I think that's the equivalent. I don't think you need anything else.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe an apprenticeship. I think that's probably similar to what
maybe
Ayana had.
I don't know, because an apprenticeship is like directly on the job learning. I feel like it would have been more like a BTEC, but like a bigger version of a BTEC.
Like a diploma.
Yeah.
So everyone encourages trade school, right, Ayano? But like, do you feel like you were deprived of a sense of community, like of like partying and stuff like that, or do you think it wasn't that big of a deal?
Yes, I do, and I think about this a lot because I'm like, you know, when it comes to going to trade school, it's not, you know, you don't live on campus, number one, and you do get the experience of meeting new people, but you go home, you know, and when it comes to like partying and going to university parties, yeah, I never got that experience. I never got the away from home experience, anything like that, which kind of sucked because like I see like all my classmates that I went to high school with and living their best life and, you know, joining fraternities and like going to different parties and things like that. I mean, I got to go clubbing like once a week, like whenever I used to perform in drag, and then even then my mom tried to like wouldn't let me do that often anymore because she was like, you need to focus on finishing on school, so I didn't really get that experience. It sucked, but
You saved so much money though, is like the amount of debt that you experience while going to school. Like I'm in so far over my head with debt. I mean, I obviously will be okay as soon as I get that full-time like teaching job where I'll be making 40, 50K.
Oh yeah, well, you'll be making coin as a teacher.
Yeah, not enough, but you know what? It's something.
God, you're in all this debt for something that you didn't even end up using. Or at least yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
I mean, I eventually am going to use it, so I don't feel too bad. Also, it gave me an opportunity to study abroad. If I was in education, I would never have been able to do it. So I don't regret anything. But how does debt work over there in the UK? Because I know it's a better situation than we have.
Well, our student debt isn't classed as real debt, so like they don't come knocking if we don't pay, and all that sort of stuff.
Is someone gonna come knocking? Because I have a bit of debt. Are they gonna just show up at my house? Is that how this works?
That's what debt collectors do.
Eventually, if you don't pay for a while, they might. Yeah.
Oh no, I gotta go.
But yeah, so like me and Becky, I know it's a bit different in Wales because Becky got a grant for some of her things, so she doesn't have to pay some of it back. But all of mine was a loan because England hate us, but Wales look after their citizens.
There are no grants.
Not in the UK.
What scholarships?
Yeah, but they're kind of rare. I never got one. I took out like a tuition fee loan every year and a maintenance loan, which is so they pay my tuition to the university, so I wouldn't see that, and then I get my maintenance, which is like free money to live off. Not free money, but you know what I mean. So it adds up to a big total of about 50k for me. Now I've completed my degree. But if I earn over £25,000 a year, they'll take 9% of my monthly pay.
But you don't see it come out really. Like it's so little that you don't.
Yeah.
You don't even bother.
And it comes straight from your paycheck as well. Like you don't pay it; they take it before you even get it.
So it's pretty good in the UK. They look after us.
The good thing is, after 30 years, if you haven't finished paying it all off, it's just wiped and it's gone. Bye bye. Yeah. No more debt. Gone forever. See you later.
It just goes away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gone.
That's crazy.
Kapoosh.
Where does it go?
Zoom. Gone away. Vanished. Written off. Bye bye.
Written off. Meanwhile, all of our politicians are like, there's no money, we're in all this debt, and your government just wipes your debt.
How much does it cost to go? So how much debt do you get in America to go to uni?
Okay, so my university I went to isn't one of the more expensive ones. There's more expensive ones out there, but mine personally was to get housing and to get pay for all tuition. It was 20k per year. So in total, it would be around 80k that you would have to take out in loans if you got no scholarships. So but I got lucky and I got a like $8,000 scholarship. So I only had to pay about 12k per year. But I did end up going and studying abroad. The first year was the same tuition cost. The second year, the second time I went, it ended up being a little bit more expensive. So I'm around 40k in debt. how it is, but I'm okay with the debt I have. I'm sad that they do it the way that they do over here, that after 6 months they come hounding you for it. But the thing is that I think things may change if the new administration, if there's a new administration. I think that Biden, if he does become president, which hoping, he
By the time this comes out, we'll know. So
yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping, or I'm crying now. But anyway, I'm really hoping that it will be better for us, and he does pass that. I think he was saying either 8,000 or 10,000 of it will be wiped, which would help me a lot. I mean, it's not as much as it should be, in my opinion. I think they should wipe out a lot more of it, but baby steps. I'll take all the baby steps we can get.
Well, we were talking about food, by the way.
we were talking about food, but we've
About
devolved.
20 minutes ago.
Oh my God! What is that?
It's
Apple crumble.
custard.
What is?
That looks good.
Okay, while we're on this political line of thinking, I want to talk about healthcare, right? Okay, now there are pros and cons, right? Because obviously over there, you guys have the NHS, you've got your free healthcare, but then also you have to wait forever to get anything done, and it's kind of backed up. Over here, we're just fucked, right? I don't know if we can curse. Can we not curse? I don't even know.
You did it in the first 2 minutes.
Oh, well, oops.
Yeah.
But yeah, over here, it's all private. It's tied to your job, which a lot of people are laid off now. It's tied to your job. It's completely out of your pocket. And then even when you've bought healthcare, you still have to pay more. Like, right, I have the biggest healthcare plan that my parents could have bought through Blue Shield. Tore my ACL. The whole process was still $5,000 out of my pocket. So, it's just awful here. So, Ayana?
I had to deal with this a few days ago. Okay, so I had a huge lump on my rib cage under my breast, right? And yeah, not fun. I know that's a little personal, but let me explain. It'll add to the story. So basically, I was like, "Yo, this is getting kind of big. I probably should go to the doctor." But the thing is, we have all these whenever we have an emergency or a health issue, we me, especially me personally, I have to ignore it because I don't qualify for full coverage because number one, okay, I got cut off from my parents' insurance when I was 19 because I forgot to renew. I was supposed to be covered until I was 25, but because I forgot to renew, they cut it off completely, so I have no insurance whatsoever. No full coverage like I did. So that took me off of my meds for antidepressants and severe depression, things like that. So I can't even get help for that. On top of, I can't qualify for any full coverage unless I am pregnant or carrying a child. So they basically base health insurance on your fertility, which I think is quite stupid because how am I supposed to get full why am I only allowed to get full coverage if I'm carrying another life? That doesn't make any sense to me. So either way, yeah, we're screwed no matter how at it because it's under certain circumstances, and on top of we may be ignoring some serious health issues because we can't afford it. And it's bananas to me because we're just starting out and we're still adults and we can't afford it, or stuff. Sorry, forgot.
It's okay.
That's insane because you should have at least a baseline health service that you could look after everyone. Here we have that, and you can choose to get private health insurance if you want to. And me personally, I'm proud of the NHS. It has its flaws, but it does what it does, and it does its best given the tremendous underfunding it's been going through due to the current Conservative government and the last Conservative government and the last Conservative government before that as well.
Has it been Conservative for 3 terms?
It's been Conservative for the last 10 years. Yeah.
So I get provided by the state the insurance that I have due to the fact that my parents have a lower income, and it covers all doctor's visits, all pretty much all medication as well for free. So I am in a good spot right now. I wish that that was the case for everyone.
Pre-coronavirus, when I wanted to see the doctor, sometimes I'd have to wait until the next week to see them
same.
because that's when they'd have the next free appointment. Or if you phoned the surgery at like 7 a.m, there's a chance they might be able to fit you in on the same day. But it's
Slim chance
Yeah.
for 5-minute appointment.
because they're just like that overbooked. And I think it's a mixture of people like taking the service for granted and going for minor things that they could treat at home, and the lack of doctors as well.
They're just underfunded, aren't they?
And it's like last year I burnt my foot quite badly. It was a second-degree burn, and I had to go to A&E, which is the ER in America. I had to wait for 4 hours to be seen by a nurse, not even a doctor, a nurse. I was
Oh,
there,
that's
I got
normal. That's normal here. At the ER, it's terrible. You have to wait forever.
I got there at 10 p.m. I got seen at 2 a.m. and then I got it dressed at 3 a.m. Or about 3:30, and I got home at 4 a.m.
That must have been excruciating.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in uni in second or third year, I was having a gallbladder attack, which I didn't know was a gallbladder attack at the time, but it happened before. Which, by the way, it took doctors in the UK 4 years to find out that I needed my gallbladder removed, because they kept saying, "Oh, you got a tummy ache, go home. You got a tummy ache, go home," and that really, really infuriated me. I had an ambulance come pick me up for this gallbladder attack. Couldn't breathe, was boiling, was in so much pain that I just literally wanted to die. It was awful, and I waited, not even in a hospital bed, in the hallways in the hospital for 8 hours in A&E to get seen.
Mm-mm.
And this is what I mean. It's not their fault, but they're just so underfunded that it's just not a good experience for anyone. Like, it's just poor.
I think one of the good things about coronavirus is that people have started to treat minor problems at home with painkillers and stuff, and A&E, the wait times have actually gone down, I think. But the routine things like cancer operations and stuff like that, they're screwed, because like they got cancelled for months because of the pandemic. Because the hospitals were having such really bad outbreaks, like it was spreading across wards and stuff. So like they'd have like dedicated coronavirus wards, and then it'd spread to like the cancer wards by accident.
I swear,
and then like
cancer treatments and stuff are still being like postponed at the moment.
You can't
they
postpone them. Like, they're dying.
Yeah, they are.
That's awful.
they've had to like move doctors to the coronavirus like wards, etc., etc. So they've had to cancel routine operations and stuff like that, which means that some people actually end up dying, which is really crap. And some are waiting years for treatment.
Is it true that when people are dying in the UK at the moment, most cases are getting put down as dying of COVID, even though they're not dying of COVID?
I do not have a clue. I've never heard about that.
That's a
before.
conspiracy.
Oh, I've heard that so many times.
That sounds like a Facebook conspiracy theory.
One of Mum's family friends who's recently died, and it's been put down as COVID, and she hasn't died of COVID.
I think that a lot of them are being put down as COVID because if it wasn't for COVID, they may have not had the experience that they experienced. So
I guess that's probably better than to put it down so that
yeah.
we have an accurate count of like how
So-
COVID has affected everyone.
Well, I thought they were doing that because of Big Pharma.
For Becky and other UK listeners who might not be aware, Big Pharma is like big like pharmaceutical companies, so the people who make like the medication and stuff.
The reason why they were labeling people, they were saying that about the U.S. too, that the reason why they were labeling deaths that weren't for COVID as COVID is so that they actually make more money off of that, because that's more they can bill the patients for. That also they can prescribe more meds because of the diagnosis, so that way Big Pharma makes more money. So that's why they were mislabeling deaths as COVID when it wasn't COVID to begin with.
Oh my god.
That's something quite bad as well over here. Big Pharma is kind of like taking advantage of the NHS, because the Conservative government have been a bit more free in selling private contracts to private healthcare companies and stuff.
Which defeats the whole purpose.
I know for a fact my local A&E department is now run by Virgin Healthcare.
It's awful.
which is weird. We don't get billed for that, but the NHS have to pay them, and sometimes they charge like astronomical prices. So, and it's the government who decides who gets a contract to do it. So it's kind of out of the NHS's hands, which then obviously puts them under more financial strain because they're paying a lot more money, and things like that. So yeah.
A couple things. The wait times are difficult, and I know that they're a lot worse for like mental health stuff as well, like in counseling and stuff, because that's under the NHS.
yeah.
It's basically virtually impossible to get appointments. But it's kind of like, yeah, your options are wait and everyone gets health care, or you pay for it and you get it immediately and everyone else is just screwed and dies. And like, it's just like the choice should be obvious. Like, a little bit of inconvenience does not mean that we should just fully give up on
Yeah.
it. The position that we're currently in over here is that, like, someone like Val who's on Medicare, we're currently in a situation where we're not really trying to tap into the money from the people at the top. So we're currently in a position where we've turned everyone against each other, because the people who are kind of like in upper middle class are currently actually paying for the programs that benefit the lower class, in the sense of like people who make like $60,000 a year are paying for people who make less to get Medicare and stuff, whenever we really need to put all of that on the people, the billionaires and upper millionaires and stuff. And so we're currently in a situation where like conservatives are against Obamacare, because Obamacare, it uses the upper middle class to pay for the poor. And we're currently in a situation, I guess, in America and over there with you guys trying to slowly privatize, where we really need to start making the top pay their fair share, and we really need to shift the scales a bit. Because everyone deserves to be able to get fixed if they're broken. Like, it just doesn't make any sense in our first world countries that whenever you have something wrong with you, you can't get fixed.
So I love the NHS.
So do I. I'm proud of it.
I love the NHS so much.
I think that there might be room for both. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like over the UK there is like a privatized section where if you wanted to bypass NHS wait times, you guys can have private insurance to do that. So I feel like over in the US we could do Medicare for all, and also allow some people to go ahead and have that privatized system if they would like to. That doesn't mean they get to opt out of paying for Medicare for all. That means that they will have an additional way of getting help for whatever their needs are.
We have to take down Big Pharma if we're going to do that, because the problem is that the only way that Medicare for All is going to work is if we fully make it nonprofit. And that's what we need to do, is fully make it where no one is profiting off of the healthcare system. And it makes it a little bit hard whenever, because as long as it's tied to people's jobs.
If you can do it, I think that we can do it.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that that's how it's been. Whereas, like, here, we have to fully tear down our system to then rebuild it, because if it's tied to people's jobs, then we can't then make them also pay for something else if they currently have this, It's just we have to get everyone on board with, having it be a progressive tax that everyone gets the healthcare. It's just...
I don't think over there it's tied to their jobs.
It's not.
It is, like...
It is here.
So we just have to take that away and have it
That's
where
the main argument.
if you wanted the option, then you could reach out to insurance agencies and get it that way. Just like if you wanted added coverage on your vehicle, you could do that through your insurance.
All right. Well, this is a good discussion. I think it was a good episode. I think we'll get looser as we go on. I think it's going to be beautiful. We have a lot of great topics coming up. We're going to talk about the virus. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about some spirituality stuff with like tarot and crystals and stuff, because we're all very woo-woo. And we're going to talk about just a lot of different stuff. And I think it's really beautiful that we are going to at least try and create this platform where people in our age range and our generation has a voice. Because, I mean, at this point, I think the other generations look at us and they see TikTok. They see irreverence. They see memes, which is beautiful. I love that part of us. We've definitely been born into a world that's pretty awful, so we need to laugh at it. But I think that we also have a bunch of great ideas and a lot of great viewpoints. And being from, all over where we are is really great. And it's we have a really cool perspective. So I'm really excited to see
Yeah.
the kinds of conversations that we
Yeah.
can have here. All right, guys.
Alright.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.